Hello everyone, Ace here, and today I've decided that in the wake of the recent disgrace that was Fallout the Frontier, that I want to actually do something of a good deed by instead highlighting some mods that are actually worth your consideration. Mods that are all under active development, and at the same time have actually managed to, on a technical perspective, outperform what Fallout the Frontier has managed to accomplish, at least in my opinion. So without further ado, let's dive in, shall we? The first mod I of course want to bring up is Forgotten Hope Secret Weapons for Battlefield 1942, which by the way is itself an expansion pack mod for the original Forgotten Hope. Now I do need to provide a disclaimer that my own mod team worked with Forgotten Hope Secret Weapons, including trading assets, but I still do have to bring up FHSW due to the sheer amount of things that are within it. And not just the really cool in-game vehicles such as the Rat Tank or the Zvino project, which from a technical standpoint is quite impressive to put them into this particular engine, but also mechanical features such as the ability to do skip bombing, or the fact that they also added armor angling and armor thickness into the mod. In addition, I should mention the fact that FHSW is still under active development, even though they've actually gotten to the point now that they are starting to cover more obscure historical conflicts such as the Russo-Japanese War and the Second Italo-Abyssinian War. In fact, there's so much to talk about that I'm only scratching the surface and providing some of the highlights to you all. But if nothing else, take away from all of this that the developers behind FHSW really know how to push the Refractor engine to its absolute limits. That said, there is one major issue I do need to bring up when talking about FHSW, because it is a multiplayer-only mod developed and mostly popular in Japan, meaning that players outside of Japan can have a genuinely hard time trying to find a match. And while there is an experimental single-player patch for it, it only works with the outdated version 0.6. But moving on, let's look at a mod that's perfect for RPG fans out there, specifically New Horizons for Pirates of the Caribbean. Now for those of you who are unaware, while Pirates of the Caribbean is certainly a movie licensed title, it's also a part of the Sea Dogs / Age of Pirates franchise, developed by independent Russian studio Akela, which can be best described as a pretty decent budget series of pirate roleplay games that have managed to attract a very small but nevertheless very successful modding community, of which New Horizons stands as one of the best mods of the entire bunch. And the reasons for this are indeed on the technical side, as the development team has added tons of new features, such as start dates that can vary from 1500 to 1830, which have a direct impact on the nations present in the mod, as well as the ship types that are available and even the equipment that is available. In other words, this is a mod that will let you sail anything from a carrack, which is a ship type that dates back to the medieval times, all the way up to proper steamships. In addition, the mod adds tons of other new features as well, such as ship upgrades, new shops such as blacksmiths, the ability for equipment to wear down and indeed get repaired, as well as various types of body armor. And once again, keep in mind that this is all on a custom-made map that slowly evolves throughout the years. The only real downside to all of this is the fact that the mod is specifically made for Pirates of the Caribbean, which is the only game in the entirety of the Sea Dogs Age of Pirates franchise that isn't officially available digitally. But if you really want to have a proper roleplay game that lets you sail the high seas, then this is certainly a strong contender to keep in mind. But let's move on to the third and final mod I'll be talking about today, specifically B.A.T, for the original IL-2 Sturmovik. And while the two previous mods I mentioned did genuinely push what was possible with their respective engines, I can safely say that B.A.T openly exceeds what is possible with its particular engine. And for those of you wondering how that could even be possible, the reason is because the mod is actually split into 4 separate pieces, because otherwise it would simply be too big for the game to even handle. Yes, you heard me right. This is a mod that is so massive that a player can only experience around a quarter of it at any given point. It's also so massive that one of the features listed in the recent 4.0 update was that because it was going to be an all-in-one installer, it was going to save you, the player, around 20 gigabytes of hard drive space to download it all, in comparison to the previous system of incremental expansion packs. That said, when I mean all-in-one installer, I mean only for one of the 4 modules of B.A.T, and also not including the various volumes of single-player mission packs either, which give the mod roughly around 10,000 different missions for the player to experience. In fact, presently, it is my opinion that B.A.T is the largest mod ever created. And in order to encompass over 100 years of military aviation history, the mod has, to no one's surprise, had to add features that were never in the original game, such as radar-guided and infrared-guided missiles, as well as even strategic-level nuclear weapons. Basically, if you want a flight simulator that can pretty much do anything, then B.A.T is actually one of the best examples out there in my opinion. And the best part is that unlike with Pirates of the Caribbean, it is fairly easy to acquire, thanks to IL-2 Stromovik being available on both GOG.com as well as Steam for the low price of $10. So these are the 3 mods that stick out in my mind when it comes to projects that have exceeded what Fallout the Frontier promised, and have ultimately delivered as well. Of course, there are plenty of other examples I could drum up here and there, but frankly, were I to do that, we'd probably be here all day. So instead, I'm just going to be leaving links in the description below to the various mods so you can try them out yourself. But in any case, this has been Ace. Hope to see you guys again soon. Take care. Ace out.